We're
So yeah,
back, Mando
though.
Bros. It's season 2.
It's good to be back, Seamus. We have been so up in the air on content lately. Yeah, it's really nice to know that we're going to have a regular weekly segment devoted to The Mandalorian.
This first episode, gentlemen, holy cow. I woke up nice and early, got a little cup of coffee, I sat down, and I put on episode 1, chapter 9. It was a blast.
Well, actually, before that, Seamus, you actually put on our pop culture recap for The Mandalorian Season 1, live now on our YouTube channel, and then you watched.
See, what I actually did was I started the episode, and there's a recap of the first season, and I watched through that from Disney Plus, and I was like, man, we have a better one than those. That's ridiculous. And I immediately went to the pop culture recap on our YouTube channel, because I was dissing Disney Plus a little bit.
So, let's start with overall thoughts. What did you guys think of the Season 2 opener?
Hooks you right back in is a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's a really solid opener. I think they do a nice little scene at the very beginning to kind of get back into the world and the tone of The Mandalorian, but also remind you of some of the less friendly aspects of the series, because he gets in a nice little scrape where he just takes out everybody that tries to take him out. And it's pretty brutal, to be honest. I think it's some of the most brutal violence we've seen on this series so far. And the series makes the point of showing us that Baby Yoda is seeing what Mando is doing. And I think when we look back, what happened in the penultimate episode of last season, where he ended up force choking Cara on board the Razor Crest, we might see Baby Yoda start to emulate some of these darker tendencies. And especially the first thing right before the, not the opening credits, but the title card for the episode. And by the way, it is chapter 9. We're not resetting our chapters as we go, so this is a continuation from chapter 8, is that Mando just leaves that guy to die.
It's pretty dark.
And then we're back on Tatooine in this episode. So many Easter eggs, and it did not feel as blatantly fan servicey as the Tatooine episode from last season, I didn't think. I thought it felt much more integrated into the story.
Man, there's so many. The ice cream machine, it's got a name in universe now.
Yes, that was nice to see. The little portable vault thing that we saw from Empire that then showed up last season. And then about the speeder bike engine, which is very clearly a repurposed pod racer engine. Do you think that's supposed to be from Anakin's pod? I see a lot of
people saying, clinging on to anything they can to be like, it's gotta be Anakin's, it's gotta be. I don't think it is, but I think that it's definitely, I heard some stuff already, people throwing around after Anakin won his race and people saw how fast that kind of engine can be, that was people kind of repurposed other engines to recreate that style again, but I think it was just a fun little nod. It couldn't possibly be the actual engine.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but I mean, it was fun nonetheless to see. The thing that made me scream to the point that Annie came out of her room and was like, can you please be quiet? was R5.
Yes, R5, man. Oh, Amy Sedaris has him just dooting around her hangar.
You love to see it. You love to see the scorch marks on his exterior in case it wasn't obvious enough that
with the bad motivator.
It's the same R5. Yeah. And I was pretty hyped about that.
That was blood-curdling scream, and he's like, what is it? And you're just like, it's gotta be R5. It's him. He's here.
But obviously the biggest Easter egg this week was, Cobb Vanth is confirmed to be in the main Star Wars saga. He was a minor character from the Aftermath trilogy of books. Heavily implied that he had Boba Fett's armor after, all the unpleasantness with the Sarlacc pit on Tatooine. He's a very obscure character, and I thought they handled him really well. Obviously, Timothy Olyphant is wonderful and charming as always.
Oh, absolutely.
I really hope he comes back, because he's really good.
Oh, he has to. He gives the old, I hope our paths cross again someday, Mando, at the end there, and they better, because he is so good. I half expected him to get killed at the end of the episode.
Me too.
But, they kept him around for a reason, so he better come back.
Do you think we'll do a season 1 style team up at the end of this season where Mando goes and gets all his buddies together to fight the big bad?
That's what I was almost thinking, like a little Magnificent Seven style again to just...
Seamus, I don't necessarily think episode 2 will start off of Tatooine. I think it's possible we could see more Tatooine in episode 2 because of the way episode 1 ends with that big reveal. Boba Fett's still wandering the Dune Sea.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing we could talk about besides Timothy Oliphant is let's go for it, man.
It's a big thing to talk about. I loved the whole plot with the Krayt Dragon and everything, but this is the meat of the episode in terms of implications for the future of the show.
Like you said, the last 20 seconds and the fact that Timothy Oliphant is still alive at the end are the most important for the rest of the season at least.
So Ricardo, I take it you have umbrage with the return of Boba Fett?
To me, Boba Fett comes with a lot of baggage in that I don't want any connections to the old stuff. For me, Mandalorian feels so kind of removed. I don't want to keep going back to Tatooine to see the same people over and over again.
I honestly completely agree with Ricardo. As cool as that reveal is, I'm much more invested in The Mandalorian as a solo story. Now, there is some hypocrisy in that I'm really excited to see Ahsoka hopefully show up this season. But I've never been the biggest Boba Fett guy either, Ricardo. I do think his stuff on Clone Wars is really well done.
I feel like that should be the absolute anchor for why you guys should be hyped for this. They're gonna maybe finally use him in a live action property to the full extent of what his legend should be. And
I think it all depends on what they do with him. I hope it's really good.
Yeah, I'll roll with whatever they're doing.
Well, that being said, I really liked how they expanded on the Tatooine stuff this episode. I thought everything with the Tusken Raiders was outstanding. I loved seeing more of their culture and the way that they work, not just as savages, kind of like what we said in our pop culture recap for season 1. They were using their gaffy sticks to clean the bantha's teeth. I thought that was really cool. And I really liked seeing the Krayt Dragon. We haven't really seen one of those in big action before. Especially
Dude,
because,
the Krayt Dragon caught me so off guard.
Yeah.
It just looks like a giant Tremors worm.
That's what people were saying, yeah.
A couple other Easter eggs kind of related to what we were just saying. One, the fact that the Krayt Dragon, its call does sound like the call that Obi-Wan does to scare away the Tusken Raiders, officially confirming that he was doing a Krayt Dragon impression to scare the Tusken Raiders away in episode 4.
Whoa, okay.
That's really rad. And then also, during our big Krayt Dragon finale, the fact that Mando hits the back of the Boba Fett armor's jetpack to make it misfire and go in the air just like Han Solo does in episode 6.
Loved it to death.
Chef kiss. Perfect.
That says to me that since he knows how to do that, that's just a feature on all jetpacks.
I was gonna say
it's like a Buzz Lightyear,
Yeah.
You just lightly tap it in the right place, it'll just kind of shoot you off into a random direction.
Yeah, it's that brand of jetpack is known to malfunction, so he's just alright, I know how to get rid of this guy quick. Bam.
Real quick, speaking of Timothy Oliphant having to give the armor back, when he first showed up and he took the helmet off, was anyone else kind of with Mando? It was that is offensive. How dare you?
I thought that they handled that entire character introduction really well, because it was tense, and I was invested in it, and I could see where both of them were coming from as characters. The writing on the show is just really good, and again, in this episode, they found a way to give us an insight into Mando's emotions without having us see his face.
What if they go full Deadpool and just have the little black part of the mask move?
Like Spider-Man's eyes?
Yeah, just do that for every stormtrooper, everyone who wears a helmet on Star Wars.
We didn't even talk about Baby Yoda this episode.
He was adorable. I feel like maybe they're putting in more baby noises to make it cuter, because there's a lot of baby noise. Like you said before, he does a thing where he recognizes the whistling birds are about to go off, and he closes his little hover stroller.
I believe the canon term is hoverpram.
Hoverpram, excuse me. Yeah, I thought he might have come in for the big Krayt Dragon fight and kind of pull a Mudhorn scene again where he uses the Force, but I'm glad they didn't, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot more important moment in this season where he comes in clutch with the Force, so I'm glad they didn't burn it on the first episode.
especially because this episode already felt so much both like the episode with the Mudhorn from Season 1 and the episode with the ATST from Season 1.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I'm glad they didn't just Deus Ex Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was a really solid season opener. I'm really excited to see where it goes as we continue. So yeah, that wraps us up for this week. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give us a like. And if you want to keep up on Mando Bros and the rest of our podcast, Pop Culture Reference, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more content.